Amazing. Let's see, is there anything I can click on from here? Anything I can check out from here? Nope. Okay. What's over here? A chimney? I want to check this out. Oh, I can't. Disappointment befounds me. What's over here? More room, more books. I go to buff. Oh, a book. The Book of Hauntings. I thought I'd make a sound. So that England is the most haunted country in the entire world. Oh man. Turn the pages and you'll be transported into the haunted past. Oh wow. It's like history in the making. All the shit from England that is all hauntings and evil and such. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this. It's like a bunch of images. You know, you can see all the stuff. You can see the Reaper and the thing. You can see a cat. You can see that. You can see this guy. Looks like Zorro is a ghost, I guess. And then you can see monks. Then you can see a forest with horses. And then this. And then again. Then you can see a castle. I'm getting bored of reading this. There's a lot of it. Oh my god. Oh wow. Oh, this is gonna take forever. No. Actually, yes, yes. Let's do this. Let's fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go through the whole thing. Let's speedrun this. Let's pause the video if you want to see it all. There's the skull. Wait, what was that? What the fuck was that? Oh, I thought it looked weird. Racetrack. You could sure race in that. It's a chain. A cathedral hall. Hand. Hand. Inverts. And cloud. Spoop. Give me a hug. No, wait. Hey, come on. Yeah, that thing. The big penis. My neck broke. I'm so tired. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Swords, cutlasses, I guess. Art. Man in chain. I am Spoopy! Oh, you know, it's a chick from the cover of the case. Interesting. What the fuck is that? Is this time? Yes. 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 Mm-hmm. Got that cross in there. Now this is spoopy. Now we What the fuck am I looking at? No picture. Shit. It was like a fucking hermit's chapel isn't getting any love. The hindhead stone. Okay. Horning. Horning. I gotta read this. Horning. In the 5th century AD, following the departure of the Romans from East Anglia, Ella was crowned as the king of the Angles. Once in every 5 years, on the 21st July, this coronation is reenacted by spirits near the rivers in the village of Horning. Horning. There are too many immature jokes I can make about that, including Lecoq Abbey. Get the fuck out of here! Oh no, she's lost in Lime Park. These are apparently all like real events or real myths or something like that. So it is pretty interesting, you know. Like the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich with these stairs, the spiral stairs. Or Old Portsmouth, that's a thing. Yes. Vicote. Scotney. Shaftesbury. Shaft. Sissinghurst. Lovely. Speck. Speck. The Silent Pool. We found the sequel to Silent Hill. Actually, it's the pool that we saw from the hand. The temple. Oh, that's cool. Tintagel. The Tower of London. The fucking Tower of London is haunted. A fucking university is haunted. By He requests that after his death that his body be dissected, his bones brought into a human form and dressed in his clothes, and a wax death mask rest on his skeleton. Wow. Yep, the headless. Wax him. The Winettes. Wolfenton. York. York Minster. Unmanaged intense services. Yeah, disregard medieval clothing. And that's all of them. That was all the book. Anything here? No? Okay. I guess I'll move forward to this portrait that's just in the bookshelf.
Approached the abbey, walking across the fields, over a fence, looked up, could see the abbey, and what looked like a procession of monks, or hooded monks. Couldn't see any faces or anything, but there were definitely monks walking towards the abbey. At this point we heard a cough, which sent shivers down my spine, and as a group of three of us, we all turned and ran, and leaving the scene just as fast as we could. Having prepared yourself to actually believe that they existed, to actually encounter something and feel something, then gives you the exact opposite of saying they don't exist, it can't be happening to me, they don't exist at all. It's very, very, very difficult to get your mind around it.
Alright. Anything over here? Oh, a chair!
Unless you want your luck to make a turn for the worse, never sit in another person's chair soon after they have left it.
I want to sit in this chair.
Unless
Fucker. I'm not being a dickhead to him, I'm just saying, like, let me sit in this chair. Damn it, you won't let me. I'm interested in what the hell this is. Oh, well, you know. A plug. It's the It's the fucking credits! Adobe Photoshop, Audacity Studio, ID software for Doom. Keep pushing the envelope, guys. Apple Computer, who still make the coolest machines in town, keep the Signosis! Holy shit! What the fuck? All video and ghosts been edited with Media 100 from Data Transition. The way cool online nonlinear digital editing system. It looks like the old version of Vegas. Ah, man, the times. Whole bunch of black books here. Can't interact with any of them. What's... No, I want to go back. I saw a thing. I want to go back and see the thing. I want to see the thing. There's a thing there. I want to see it. Let me see the thing. Let me see the fucking thing. Come on. It's like a till thing. I want to see the till thing. Let me see the bastards. Let me see the fucking thing. Okay, where am I now? Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, good, more videos. Can I? Yes, I can interact with the lamp. The lamp does nothing. Good. Okay, what's this? Does anything ever frighten you? By the way, this guy is a part of Ghostbusters UK. Just in case you didn't know that. Just letting you know that right now.
The case at the empty, haunted church where the team and I went to look because we'd been told by various students and people that they'd seen figures moving in the gloom there. This particular church I didn't know existed, but when we went there, figures did move in the gloom. There were tombstones which had been disturbed. This strange mist filtered into the church. The atmosphere was intensely oppressive. That was probably the most frightening case that we actually went to.
Now, there was one case, I think, that was interesting from the point of view that my fellow investigator and myself were somewhat scared. You get blasé about this, but we were in a house, an old house up in the Fens, north of Cambridge, and in a room that nobody would sleep in or live in, because they said funny things happened to them. And they were using it to store furniture. And when they put electricity in the house, they put everything else but in that one room. And we're in there and sitting there, and we got all the other helpers, actual members of the University Society downstairs, doing a Ouija board, not to communicate, but to get everybody round so that we could control them. And suddenly there's bumps and thumps coming. We locked the door from that direction across the bare boards. And I'm saying to Alan, this is my friend, Alan, cut it out. He's saying, cut it out yourself. I said, well, it's not me. And bang, 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 we've got 2 torches. And we're shining. I mean, we've known each other for years. I knew he wasn't doing it, he knew it. But it got quite scary because it's a thump, 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 you see. And the last thump was on a brass bedstead over my head. And I thought, wow, I don't like this. And Alan said the same, more or less the same thing. People were making a noise downstairs, and we used that as an excuse to go down and tell them to keep quiet. We got to the door, and we forgot that we had put strings across there in case somebody was going to take us for a ride. And we went through there and collided with that, came back, and as we came back, we heard a noise, and we swung our torches around, and we saw a chair going across the room and land bang on the wall. That was a bit scary.
Lots of things have frightened me, but not ghostly things. In the course of investigating supposedly haunted places, I've been down in cellars with no lights on and no torch, just hoping something will come out of the slimy walls. I've slept in several bedrooms where I've been told no one slept there for 20 years, and I sort of go to bed and go to sleep, wishing something spooky would come along. As a child, I can certainly remember seeing apparitional type things and being frightened. But nowadays, if I see something like that, I think, oh, there comes an apparition. I think it's my own mind, so it's not remotely frightening. I'm quite happy to go to bed at night, see all kinds of things being created by my mind, and they don't spook me. So the answer is no. But of course, it might happen. I might get a terrible shock and one day go to a haunted place and see that ghost that I so far don't believe in.
All right. By the way, I just remembered I missed something last time. I missed something back in that room. I need to go back. That's the wrong room. This room. I forgot to open up the thing that's on the table. This thing. Ghost Hunters. Literally, a thing called Ghost Hunters. Ghostbusters UK, here it is, baby. Here it is. Robin Furman, paraphysiologist and team leader. Janice Pedersen, microbiologist. Andrew Furman, engineer. And Rodney Mitchell, physicist and computer scientist. Literally, Ghostbusters exists, but in the UK. And we can listen to this guy talk some more.
Well, originally I was actually talking at adult education lectures on the subject of parapsychology. My background is in psychology, but para is a Greek word for outside of or beyond psychology, you see. Telepathy, things like that, poltergeist effects. And one night I told the class that somebody rang me up saying they thought they had a ghost or a poltergeist, and everybody wanted to come and see. And from that small beginning, a group of us remained, and we became the Ghostbusters, you see. Well, we've had a lot of interesting cases. We've had a nerve-wracking case looking for sort of vampires, something like at Highgate Cemetery in London. But the most interesting one probably recently was the case of Wintringham Fields Hotel, where a picture on the wall was found on the floor every morning. And the extraordinary thing is, and we have film of this, that the picture, probably nearly 200 years old, was exactly the same as a girl who was a secretary and a receptionist in the hotel, whose desk was near the picture. And she looked almost exactly the same as the girl in the picture. How about that? And every morning it was on the floor. She wasn't very comfortable about that. And in that hotel, a guest complained that his bedside lamp had been taken out in the middle of the night when he went to the bathroom, which was en suite in his room. And when he came back to his bedroom, the bedside lamp was on the end of his bed, unplugged from the wall, the plug being behind the bed head. How about that? Absolutely genuine, I assure you. Well, In a way, we're rather similar. I mean, we didn't set out to be similar, or even, we didn't call ourselves Ghostbusters, you know. That was a media name, which we think is good fun. Why shouldn't you have fun? How do we differ? I don't think we differ a lot. We try and find, we don't charge. They charge, and I mean, if we go a long distance, we have to have our expenses covered. We don't charge for the investigation per se.
Physical changes, sudden cold, spots, breezes, figures that appear and then disappear, objects being moved, vibrations, sudden wafts of perfume. So we want to make sure, if we can, that these things actually happen and record them and see if there's any way in which they're cyclic.
Tony Cornell is not part of Ghostbusters UK. He's just a guy that created this thing called SPIDER, or a Spontaneous Psychophysical Incident Data Electronic Recorder, for, tracking ghosts.
Well, the first thing I'd tell them is not to be too worried about it. That's easy to say because although this is much more common than people think, it's not something that happens every day, and they all get emotional, worried and upset about it. But the first advice I would tell them is to look, sit back and rationalise it. I don't know of any cases where anybody's been seriously hurt. It's frightening, it's disturbing, it's worrying. Now, try first of all to find some rational explanation for it, because people's imagination can work overtime. It might be a noise that has a rational source of some form or other. You may be thinking that it's paranormal and it isn't. But talk to it. Say, look here, what do you want? If it's disturbing their life, say, listen, if you are from the dead, we don't know whether it's from the dead or whether it's from their mind, but let's say if you are from the dead, would you please go back from where you came? You don't belong here, you're upsetting our life. Clearly they want to get hold of someone who knows the subject reasonably well and can reassure them on it and maybe get rid of it. The church are quite good at this. They'll exorcise cases. If people are religious, it seems to work. If people aren't religious, it doesn't seem to work. But generally not to believe all the silly stories that they've read, because the real thing isn't like the fiction at all, and the fiction isn't like the real thing.
So yeah, now we've seen everything from the demo, and now we've seen a lot more than the demo. So there's a lot. There's a lot in this game. There's a lot to see, there's a lot to witness. There's a lot of interesting stuff. And this is supposed to be our room, but I think you can see where we are right now. I will save my position because this is a position file. Not even kidding, it's called a position file. I'm going to save my position file because sadly, we're done. And by that I mean, sadly, there's nothing else to really show for now because I'm out of time. I always stream for at least 2 hours, and it's been 2 hours. So, stream's over.
Witness Mavis Hartley is convinced that the apparition she has seen is the spirit of this woman. We have arranged for Ruth Brewery, a woman with psychic abilities, to visit the house to give her opinion of the ghostly events. She has not spoken to the residents before and has been told nothing of the events. Ruth's visit to the house proved largely uneventful until she entered the small bedroom on the first floor. She made the following statement to our reporter after the event. As soon as I stepped into the bedroom, I felt a wave of oppressive cold come from the eaves and near the fireplace. I knew that this was a place where the spirit had slept. I didn't need to see her to know she was there. You've been watching Viewpoint. I'm Ria Searcher. Good night.
Great music, great reporter, great acting. Hey look, some more stuff. This is tipped over. There's a clock here. It's not tipped over. What does it mean?
Look closely at the cinders within the hearth. If you find any that are shaped like a coffin, there may be a death in the family.
Interesting. Oh, so what the fuck's up with these things? Anyway, let's go this way. Oh look, there's those things again. You already interacted from the last time. Oh, we got some new stuff.
Oh, there's one case I think that was interesting from the point of view that my fellow investigator and myself were somewhat scared. You get blasé about this, but we were in a house, an old house up in the Fens, north of Cambridge, and in a room that nobody would sleep in or live in, because they said funny things happened to them, and they were using it to store furniture. And when they put electricity in the house, they put everything else but in that one room. And we're in there and sitting there, and we got all the other helpers, actual members of the University Society downstairs, doing a Ouija board, not to communicate, but to get everybody round so that we could control them. And suddenly there's bumps and thumps coming. We locked the door from that direction across the bare boards. And I'm saying to Alan, this is my friend, Alan, cut it out. He's saying, just cut it out yourself. I said, well, it's not me. And bang, 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 we've got two torches. And we're shining, I mean, we've known each other for years. I knew he wasn't doing it, he knew it. But it got quite scary because it's a thump, 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 you see. And the last thump was on a brass bedstead over my head. And I thought, wow, I don't like this. And Alan said the same, more or less the same thing. That people were making a noise downstairs, and we used that as an excuse to go down and tell them to keep quiet. We got to the door, and we forgot that we had put strings across there in case somebody was going to take us for a ride. And we went through there and collided with that, came back, and as we came back, we heard a noise, and we swung our torches around, and we saw a chair going across the room and land bang on the wall. That was a bit scary.
One of the most interesting cases I investigated many years ago now was in an ordinary council house in North Bristol. I was called there because the family had been seeing strange lights in the sky, and the UFO group had started investigating it. But then odd things started to happen in their house. They were seeing strange things, they were hearing strange things, they saw the lights swinging when there was no one there, they heard somebody opening the front door but there wasn't anybody there. The clock was jumping along the mantelpiece of its own accord when nobody touched it, and the television was changing channels spontaneously with nobody near it. So they called me in to try and find out what was happening. I found a very pleasant and interesting family. I got on fine. I went there a day a week for many weeks and sat there and watched. And of course nothing happened. And I got them to keep a diary, and I put various pieces of apparatus in there to detect what was going on, and nothing was detected at all. I put a sort of fraud detecting piece of apparatus there, and they didn't fall for that and commit any frauds, which meant that I could relax a bit about that. And then one day when I was sitting there, the clock jumped along the mantelpiece. And I thought, wow, you know, at last something psychic's happened, amazing. So I wanted to find out, was this to do with the position on the mantelpiece? Would any clock in that position jump? Or was it something about the clock? Was the clock haunted or the place haunted? So I thought the best thing to do was replace that clock with another clock and take the jumping clock away to my house. So I got them to put another clock on the mantelpiece, and I took the jumping clock home to my desk, put it down on my desk, kept working, you know, day after day, and suddenly it went ch-ch, and I thought, whatever this is, whether it's a ghost or something normal, it's in the clock. So I took it to a technician I knew who specializes in mending clocks, and he took it to bits, and he told me that it was a very cheap metal 1950s clock with a very heavy old dirty spring in it that was totally clogged up. He showed me, with muck and dirt and so on. And what happened was, you wind the spring tight, it all sticks together with this gooey stuff, and then as it unwinds it sticks and then jumps. And because the clock's so light and it was on a shiny tiled mantelpiece, it would actually move it a long way along. And that was the beginning of dismantling the story. It turned out that the television channels could be changed by various kinds of sounds, ultrasound, that could be produced by the rattling of a dog's chain, and often it happened when the dog was lying in front of the television, and other sounds as well could do it. We tried some out, And gradually the whole thing fell to pieces. Now I still don't know whether really the lights were swinging when nobody was there, as the people said. I never saw that happen, and I have only their word to go on. And that's how it's always been. Things I've been able to investigate have turned out to have a normal explanation, and a lot remains that I just don't know. I think that's a very difficult and interesting case. I knew some of the people who were there, and everybody I talked to who'd been there came back with a totally different account of what had happened. What seems most interesting to me about that case is the telephone bills and the idea that you couldn't dial fast enough to get the speaking clock. But I've never been able to find out, although I have tried, to get a transcript of the phone bill or anything that would show me that was really true. As far as I'm concerned, from the investigations I've done, that remains a fascinating bit of hearsay that I haven't been able to track down. That's always how it is, and it's very frustrating, because maybe it's true and I'm wrong, but I can never seem to get hold of a bit of evidence that's really convincing.